What's going on, guys? Your boy Eric EMFC.
It's Matt from USC.
This is Derek at the EMFC.
And we're back. It's Wrestle Chat Wednesday, but this time on a
We're
Thursday. It's lit. We're lit. Everyone's lit except for me, apparently. I got water, though. And Matt's got a cup. And here we are, another week of wrestling. It was supposed to be one of our, I guess, final seasons of the year. Now it was the final four pay-per-view. Survivor Series finally happened. We went all out, of course. We rented our own theater because we always got the
Shout out
exclusives.
to George, bro. Make sure you go check out his Twitch. He'll be streaming one day. He'll be back. Trust me. The ongoing joke will never stop, bro. He'll be back.
But yeah, we finally all got to get together, which was
a good
fun in
time.
person. It was a good time. It was an amazing pay-per-view in general. Is that what we want to start off with first? The replay, I guess?
Of course, bro.
Okay.
Go straight in there. Pay-per-view felt like it was a little too short. I miss you guys.
Oh my god. It was pretty long night, actually. Sorry,
I'm
I
so
didn't-
used to seeing every pay-per-view and every Raw and every SmackDown together. Now it's just one in a year. Two in
Yeah,
a year,
bro.
actually.
twice in a
Like-
lifetime, they would say.
This
All
isn't
right.
the last big four. This is the start of WrestleMania season now, they've coined it.
If we're
It's a
going
start.
to start off with SmackDown, it was kind of a setup show for the pay-per-view. It was pre-recorded the week before, so a lot of people already knew what was going to happen. It started off with the women, you know what they do with Survivor Series and all the major pay-per-views. They're like, well, we don't want to wait for the pay-per-view. Let's fight. Yeah. People separate.
Bam.
We skipped that over. And more important news, though, they're focusing on the women's mid-cards, both on Raw and SmackDown. United States women's title tournament continued. It was Lash Legend, Piper Niven, and Michin. Michin
Michin.
pulls off the win. People were very excited. We'll bring that topic up a little bit later, but a lot of people are excited for the mid-card, people who've been held down a lot of times in the card, and they're very hyped for
You
her
have something to
entrance.
say on it, bro. That's all I know. She was trying to hype everyone up at the end, throwing up this like M. I didn't know she had her
Her
own
logo?
logo.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, everyone do it. And then
Everyone was like,
else
yeah. Me and someone were laughing because I was like, bask in her glory. Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes, they had
banger.
a pretty good match. Again, Carmelo Hayes is very athletic. Cody Rhodes did his Cody Rhodes thing. He wasn't on the pay-per-view, so he had to fight somewhere. Pretty good match. They put the fries in the
Put
bag,
fries in the bag.
and they delivered it via the Grinch McDonald's
Carmelo needs to win,
pack.
bro. How is he just like dodging like these famous people's finishers and shit? But he just takes the L every time. It makes no sense. But go on.
Another
Fries in the
major
bag.
thing that happened in SmackDown was the returning Shinsuke Nakamura had his first match against Andrade because you got to bury that guy. Pretty cool match. It still showed that Shinsuke is still a little evil. He did what Sebo was calling it a NXT thing where he was in the corner like this dead, and then he pulled, like he was pretending like he was grabbing on, but he pulled the top turnbuckle down, revealing the metal, and then Andrade trips into it, so it almost looked like an accident, but it was on purpose. Then he killed them with his leg, and 1, 2, 3 comes out
love
LA Knight. LA Knight's like, oh, I'm the tough guy. Bang, black mist, as Johnny would say. Oh my god, it's blinding. It's
That's
blinding.
the death.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me look it up, bro.
Fantastic character that they've created with Shinsuke. They brought him back strong. And then again, the last match was just they had the promo with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Again, cinematic, probably booked by Paul Heyman. How CM Punk is going to do this favor, but
I
he
didn't
needs
like
a
that
favor in
segment.
return,
I'm
though.
gonna just say that right now. I didn't like it.
He needs a
Not
favor in
because
return.
CM Punk was in it, but it just was awkward. But
It
that's
was
just me
pretty
being
awkward.
in television broadcasting. I like the Cody Roman one way better.
Yeah,
To be honest,
because you're
I
in my
feel
way.
like this one was chopped up. Like it could have just been a backstage segment, but
in
all
life.
the Black Mist is said to blind the opponent for several weeks. So that's why I'm not gonna spoil it. Tajiri used this on Naida.
Whoa.
Green obstructs the vision apparently. Red burns the eyes. So all this is doing the same thing. Blue sends the opponent to sleep, apparently. Yellow paralyzes the opponent.
What
And
the heck? I don't
purple
even know.
cause momentarily distraction and memory loss.
Purple?
Purple. Johnny, I remember
Johnny
Johnny
knows
saying
them.
that they all had a different thing, but
Yeah.
to me it sounds like you just go blind no matter what.
It all does the same
Anyways.
effect. That's funny. And then again,
Super effective on LA Knight, that's for sure.
the last match was Jacob Fatu versus Jey Uso. It was a solid match. No one interfered. Jacob Fatu wins
Banger.
the match, which sets up the advantage for the most important thing, Survivor Series. That's why we're here. That's why we went out to Toronto. It's live in Vancouver, though. Live in Canada. What did you guys think?
Rewatching it, solid pay-per-view. Again, a lot of people are angry because of the expectations from last year. I didn't care about last year, of course. CM Punk trash ruined my birthday. But that's another topic. So a lot of people were there was rumors that The Rock was showing up, Goldberg was showing up. Nobody showed up, but it was a solid pay-per-view throughout. I enjoyed it.
Derek?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I think that a lot of people have built in these expectations of just there being surprises like all the time now because Triple H is kind of like running the show. But I think that just the having the matches as is and being able to focus on the in-ring stuff, being able to focus on the individual stories that are being told in the in-ring with all of that stuff is as important as the surprises themselves. And it's really important not to use those surprises to take away from what the competitors were able to do that night. And I thought like all the matches delivered. The first War Games match started off a little bit like sluggish, but like the women were able to pick it up, and I very much enjoyed it. Um, the main event I enjoyed a lot. Like the men's war game match was really really good. Everybody like to be able to see the OG Bloodline step back into that ring and with CM Punk and like them having like a sense of individuality this time as opposed to it being like, oh, it's the Usos and like Sammy's there and like Roman's there and stuff like that. But like there's been so much that's happened to all those characters over this past year that it like felt that every one of them had a significance. And Tama Tonga scaling the cage like it was a Mario Bowser level was great. Probably my favorite part of the match.
You flipped around the cage, bro, to dodge the little the fireballs, and then came back.
Yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and like again, like long-term storytelling with the I guess the favor that was asked that CM Punk said that he was going to get from Paul Heyman for being able to participate in this match. Being able to see the small reunion of like Sammy and Jimmy who were like at odds and then they did like the handshake in the ring.
Bailey and
Finally
Io.
after all this year. Bailey and Io who like kind of had like
The
their
exact
thing
same
and they
thing.
kind of like yeah, so all that stuff I really enjoy. Like again, I feel like those are the things that kind of get me more. Like the surprises are cool, but again, it's
They
like
got him.
like I think that they did a good job of just being able to tell a really good story with the pay-per-view. So
I mean,
Mhm.
technically there was a surprise on the pay-per-view, but
there was a surprise on the pay-per-view.
I thought it was a really good pay-per-view. Like you said, the surprises don't need to happen every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's just fun thinking that there might be one. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Mhm.
And
Of
then
course,
the
of course.
pay-per-view's still lit, and you're like, okay, that was great. And
Yep.
now we have so many storylines that could possibly happen. I'm hearing stuff in the sheets that we gotta talk about, of course, a
Mhm.
little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
later. But let's get into it.
Even
First match, Eric.
even what they were saying in general online, where you guys raise your expectations too much. It is Survivor Series, but again, as we discussed before, this is kind of like the end season. It's the final season. I was gonna pick up for WrestleMania after this, after the holidays, of course. So people expected too much. Just us watching the entire pay per view, I loved it. The first
Mhm.
match, as you guys said, was kind of slow because there was some mistakes here and there, but the rest of the night was fantastic. The young talent, the older talent, they all mixed well, and everyone just looked like stars the whole night. I was entertained. But if we're gonna start with the first match, it was the women's War Games match. I think Team Rhea had the advantage the entire night, but the way they were fighting, it always seemed like Liv's team had the advantage because I think Nia Jax was one of the first people, and she was literally
Oh,
just
yeah, big
squishing
body.
everyone. So a lot of mistakes. I think the number one thing that people didn't like was the lack of actual aggression to it, especially the chair shots. A lot of them are like the Hulk
Well, if you
Hogan.
watch it back too, Bailey and Naomi, either this was all called on the spot or I don't know. Like there was a lot of stuff that even under the ring, like it seemed like they thought there was gonna be something there, and
It wasn't.
the ring people put it like halfway across,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if they planned that before or nothing. I've never heard anything about it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like Bailey and Naomi were like not giving Nia their back. Like either she was rushing the chair shots or something,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like looking up, and like Nia couldn't hit them on the head, so she had to wait for them to like hunch back down. You know what I mean?
Hit
And
him
then
right in the
by
stomach,
that
bro.
point, you're like, the hell. But
Mhm.
again, it picked up. Like once everyone was in the ring, it seems like then the plan started. Like they had specific spots they were trying to hit.
I
They
think
had the kendo stick,
the
stuff
chemistry
like that.
specifically of Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley, when they all came in, it actually picked up, either due to athleticism, the items they brought in the ring, or just the chemistry they had in the ring. After that, it seemed like everyone started clicking again. That spot, there was a couple spots that were crazy. There's table spots.
Mhm.
The whole baseball bat being attacked on Rhea Ripley when they all held
Yeah,
her
well,
back.
yeah, and there was even one like there was a spot where it was like everyone started hitting their finishers like back to back to back,
Mm-hmm.
like Code Breaker with the chair
Mm-hmm.
from Liv. She also hit the Oblivion or whatever off the ropes, crazy stuff like that. So I think again, they must have just planned out the main match, and then the start was like, oh, get some weapons, like
Figure it
throw me
out.
around, waste some time. But like
Mm-hmm.
this goes back to the point a lot of people are saying online that the War Games match needs to be adjusted because the whole first part of the match doesn't matter at all. And again, if this is how the match is gonna roll out, then I wouldn't be planning a whole like 40-minute match. The first part is just gonna be trying to figure out what they want to do until everyone gets in the ring, and then the match actually begins. So maybe they have to adjust it, shorten the times in between people coming in, or make it so that there's like 3 pinfalls or something. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that around that a lot of people were complaining about that because now we're like, oh well, we have seen War Games already, so we know like the shine's coming off. You know what I mean?
A
And they're
little bit.
like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, and they're like, this match kind of doesn't make any sense
I
because you're just
thoroughly enjoyed it
waiting.
actually compared to the other years. The other years is like okay, I kind of get it, but this one there just seemed
Mhm.
to like a lot of rivalries intertwined, so it made it
Oh, for
entertaining.
sure, for sure.
I don't know what Derek would be thinking, but I think my favorite part was that spot that Io did with the garbage can. Instead of doing her regular
Crazy.
flop, she actually did a moonsault, which is crazier because you can't even see where you're landing. Good for her.
Oh, did she just jump last year? I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. The other year she
Good.
just jumped.
Oh,
Yeah, this is the
wow.
first
Yeah,
time.
with the garbage can, yeah.
This is the first time
That's
she did a
wild.
moonsault, which like you're looking the opposite direction. You have to flip with a garbage can and try to land on someone at the same time. Crazy.
Even Tiffany too, because they were trying to time it up together, but then I was realizing watching it back, Tiffany has no way of realizing when Io's gonna jump because she's in a garbage can, right? So
Mm.
she kind of had to time it.
Mm.
That's why it looked like she was a little bit behind. But even that, like, you're like preparing yourself, and then whenever Io goes, you have to jump. I couldn't do that. No way in hell.
She did like a moonsault too. Sorry, not moonsault. She did a swanton bomb.
What's on?
It's Swanton, yeah, which is insane. Flipping forward from that height.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like us jumping from that height, I'd probably have to do like an elbow drop or something. Something like this. I'm like, catch me, and then
Yeah,
you know.
I would do a Bronson Reed, bro, and my legs would be.
That's for later
I'm not
though.
jumping, bro.
That's for later.
I'm
Derek,
not
what you
jumping.
think?
Facts.
I understand the internet chatter in regards to the War Games match because it's kind of hard to book. Like
For sure.
the idea of like the match doesn't really actually start until everyone's in there, so you're kind of just doing a whole bunch of like stuff and kind of waiting for people to kind of get in there. You kind of have to like also book it or like kind of like work it in a way where it's like when the advantage comes in, like the trend kind of turns towards that fashion and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's kind of hard because none of it really truly fully matters until everyone's in the ring. But at the same time, I still feel like it's still an entertaining match. I do feel that with Survivor Series being a thing, like they should definitely incorporate having the Survivor Series matches in there still. Like the
Mhm.
fact that they've kind of changed changed it to the point where it's like now there's no Survivor Series, it's elimination matches, and it's just War Games. Like I feel it's like you have the luxury of doing both. So why not book like one War Games match and one Survivor Series match and like make those both important kind of thing. And maybe that's something they'll look into for next year. But otherwise, like again, like there wasn't really a match that I wasn't really interested in. Like I thought all the matches delivered. Like those spots that EO and Tiffany Stratton did were phenomenal.
Even the men's match, bro.
The men's match was great. Like everything about the men's match was great.
Even the triple threat match.
Yeah, no, the triple threat match was a banger. The triple threat match
that's
was a
my
banger.
favorite match of the night, other than like the men's War Games match.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Ludwig Kaiser is continually showing that he can kind of stand on his own, and I'm happy to see it because honestly, like he is really good. And now that they're kind of giving him an opportunity to kind of show like what he can do from a singles perspective, his promo is already excellent. His in-ring stuff has been really, really good. You saw me and Albert get a anthem. We saw Ludwig come out with his entrance theme too. Like it's just like. Just like coming out like full neck snap, just like coming down to the ring. It's great, but yeah, like again, as a fan, I enjoyed it like very, very much. So
Yeah, even just like in general, the whole night. If we're just gonna generalize it now, both mid card title matches were fantastic. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura, the SmackDown before had a different theme song. It was more close to his original. Bro. And then like the next night after, technically with Survivor Series, he had like a darker entrance. He kind of looked like Shredder. The sun,
like a samurai match, bro.
So usually it's what's it called? The place of the rising sun, which is Japan.
Yeah, Japan.
Usually that's the sun moving forward, but this time it's the moon that's moving forward. And if you guys didn't notice, throughout the night before it was like halfway, and then that night that was the pay-per-view, it was all the way up in the sky, and then
moon?
It went up to the sky to a point, and it made the Japanese flag, which was hard, bro.
I seen that.
It was hard.
Because when he was in the ring, they were showing it on like the side Titantron, like above the crowd. Little hop-on stuff, bro. It was lovely.
Thank you, Seba, for mentioning it. I did not turn off the music ever, so
I did that on purpose.
I mean, it's background music technically because we're still speaking. Everything on YouTube,
celebration, bro.
Everything on YouTube will hear us like only. Everyone who is watching live, they would have
check out our socials.
They had a background
point socials.
A background soundtrack.
You can listen to us in your car.
Yeah, put this Dipset anthem on.
And then and even the match the way it did, it wasn't that long. I guess every title match that night wasn't that long, but they highlighted again younger talent, older talent, and all the chemistry was mixing together. New United States champion, the Intercontinental Championship, it was all over the place because we had like a brawler, a quick athletic wrestler, and then Ludwig as the comedic relief sometimes in between, and athleticism. So everything was complementary to each other. I think the only match that kind of lagged behind for the rest of the night was Gunther versus Priest. They did make
100%.
They did make some mess ups. Gunther is good at impromptu because he made that submission out of nowhere when they flopped and they missed the turn. So he just created like a submission on the fly. I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, it progressed the story with Finn Balor interfering.
If only there was if they set up these women's mid-card belts earlier. I know some of them were in the women's War Game match, but it would have been a better match than Gunther versus Thing. I feel like they rushed in. This could have been like a SmackDown thing with the Finn interference. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. You can't have banger after banger. You're not Sheamus. You know what I'm saying? But again, before we brush over it, Shinsuke is your new U.S. champion, the Hop-On champion. R.I.P. LA Knight.
The United States champion Canada. By a Japanese wrestler in Canada.
he could be like DIY. They only win in Canada. Easy. But yeah, shout out to Shinsuke. Hopefully Triple H does it right, bro. Because I think Shinsuke needs it. He deserves it. He's been in WWE just absolutely lagging behind from what we thought he was going to be. And good for him.
Character's sick.
Like I said last week, LA Knight down in the dumps.
And he is.
Hopefully he can come back. And this is the WrestleMania match where he can win in front of gajillions of Las Vegasans, Las Veganites.
He just has that better story.
Sorry, guys.
He has that better story of chasing for the title than actually being champion. His championship reign was
Mhm.
boring, dull. There was no story, but it was something like Shinsuke, very sinister, very evil. He just wants to attack people and miss them, spit in their face.
The only problem with this feud, if they continue it, which hopefully they do, but is that Shinsuke isn't really good at promos. Not his fault,
Mhm.
but like LA Knight is only good at promos. So this is kind of like
Well,
it's just I don't see it being very good. Like Logan Paul, LA Knight, great. Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight in the ring, great. Promos, not great, but
from what they
we'll
were
see.
doing before, Shinsuke's been doing a lot of vignettes and they have the subtitles. So I
Mhm.
think the only way they could work is like, um, LA Knight's talking trash or whatever, and then they go to the video screen and then he's talking whatever, and then he attacks after or something like that. It would work, but again, this Shinsuke didn't even look like he wanted to talk throughout the match or anything. He didn't make any noise. It just looked like he was evil. He's
I
just like
like that
eyeballs are
on
bleeding.
site, just like Bronson Reed back 2 weeks ago. Keep it up, more on site fights. Damian Priest attacking Finn Balor after the pay per view, which didn't get me points on site, bro, is bullshit. But anyways,
And then the last thing of the night was the men's War Games match. I thought it was booked pretty well compared to what everyone was talking about the women's match. I thought the men's match was booked pretty correctly.
Mhm.
Again, very cinematic with Roman Reigns and CM Punk and holding each other back. It actually got a lot of views on YouTube and social media.
100 million I heard
Mhm.
of just that clip. But that's the tribal chief. Didn't mean to cut
It's
you
CM
off.
Punk.
Sorry, I just
No, no,
wanted.
no, no,
I
no,
seen the thing.
no, no. You guys continue. That's it for me. It was a fantastic match.
Oh, it was sensational, bro. I thought Jacob Fatu got injured. Hopefully he isn't. We'll see on SmackDown. But somebody that did actually get injured was Bronson Reed. Apparently he broke both of his ankles.
Jumping from the top of the
Um,
cage to a table.
he did a tsunami, yeah, from the top of the cage through the table. Absolute mad lad, as our boy Jake P would say, down under.
Mhm.
Crazy spot.
Jimmy Uso did the same too. But his was like no, actually his was from the top. He did like a super
Yeah,
splash from the top, and he broke his pinky toe or one of his toes or something like that.
So yeah, which that sounds not
craziness.
serious. You can work with that. That's fine. The ankles are definitely a lot more serious.
Mhm.
Fuck it, bro. Roll him out in a wheelchair. I don't care. Give me more Bronson Reed, bro. This is just like his stock is through the roof. I feel so bad that he got injured. Like
Now that he's on a high.
he's doing everything to be the main thing, and he jumped off the cage, and sometimes you pay the price. Hopefully, speedy recovery for the tsunami man. And Jacob Fatu, of course, he's just like boing boing boing, flip. Roman Reigns is like spear spear spear, Superman punch. Actually, did he hit a Superman punch?
Think so. Yeah, they
If
gave a bunch.
if he did, I missed it. He might have hit one, but he hit a bunch of spears. Jacob Fatu, Solo. The Usos were doing a bunch of super kicks.
I know.
They did the
Crazy.
1D2.
They
CM
did.
Punk was there.
He didn't do much.
He almost botched Solo GTS, but it's okay. We'll forgive him. And yeah, the main thing coming out of this is CM Punk's favor.
Really, I know. And it was funny. Still looking at this. Everyone has
Yeah.
the ones, and he's just there's like go to sleep. Oh, go to sleep. And then Paul Heyman, he's like, I still back.
He just
There's
wants
a
to be so
picture.
cool.
There's a picture zoomed in of Roman Reigns and CM Punk when they're doing this pose, where Reigns is like side eyeing while he's doing the ones that he has to go to sleep sign on there. It's
That's
so
not
good.
how we do it. Well, a lot of, I heard, we listen to other podcasts, of course. They're saying that Roman Reigns is getting nervous because CM Punk didn't want to do it by his way, and everyone else, they kind of like fell in line to help him, but they're all, doing their own thing now, so they might leave him. Could be a tribal chief without a tribe, as they say.
As Cody
When he
Rhodes
wins
said.
the Ulafala. Yeah. Whoever that guy is, bro. He doesn't even get a match on a pay-per-view.
No,
Bum,
because
bro.
Saturday night main event, because he is the main event. That's where I collect my points again.
Oh my god.
That's War Games.
Monday Night Raw. Quick recap or what?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do over and under, but we probably already know the times for that.
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna
leave it
say
to
is, did we get our predictions correct?
Not all of them.
not the interference. we thought that Goldberg was gonna interfere.
I
No,
didn't.
No, I think that
Well,
was.
technically
I think
there
that
was
was the pay-per-view before.
interference,
No.
but it wasn't from Goldberg. It was from a shorts Irish. Where's from?
Lad.
Irish, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we
Yeah,
all
I
said Braun
thought-
Breaker.
We all said Rob Breaker. I thought LA Knight was going to win by disqualification, and he just flat out lost.
Oh yeah, we also just
Uh,
DQ.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what,
Yeah.
Also, we all thought Solo's team was gonna win, and they ended up winning.
Yeah,
Or sorry, losing. Sorry.
and ended
Yeah.
up losing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're bad. Next. Monday Night Raw.
I got it. I think I might have said it before we did the predictions. Triple H doesn't run by that old wrestling shit. It doesn't matter if the faces or the heels win, bro. It don't matter. It's not 1-1 anymore.
my
it's not
days.
a Vince thing.
Live on Raw. WWE Priority Pass packages available now. No. Monday Night Raw hailed from somewhere in the United States now. It started off pretty strong with CM Punk coming out. He's like, what's next for me? He believed that he wants to be straight to the top. He says he still has a favor in his back pocket. And as Matt began the podcast earlier, WrestleMania doesn't start in January. It starts now. God damn it. Now. He's
Oh yeah, I
looking-
heard he pointed to the side like a bellhop,
Yeah.
bro, and it's not there.
He's
and
like-
nobody knew what he was doing.
No. He mentioned it. He's like, I know you guys don't see it, but I see it. It's right
yeah,
there.
he had to because nobody reacted to him pointing to the damn roof.
But I think Raw was kind of dead for the most part. But yes, he
I
pointed to
skipped
the side.
way through it, but we're just getting straight to the action, bro. Drew McIntyre came back. My fantasy team is up, bro. I'm winning. You guys are. You should have conceded, like Solo said. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, as you said, it set up Seth Rollins coming out, and as we said, him hating CM Punk. They started fighting, and Sammy and Jey Uso got involved. Jey got jumped backstage. Sammy fought Seth. He lost to Seth because he thought Seth was evil, but he wasn't. And that brings out Drew, who was the one who attacked Jey, who attacked Sammy, and I guess he wants revenge. It's a fantastic storyline. We really needed a heel in this whole storyline, especially on Raw. It was severely missing someone who is pissy like Drew, and no one drinks more piss than Drew. You get me? Let's call it. Anyways, Derek, I know this is your favorite segment of the day, of the week, of the year, probably.
Going in
Mhm.
Raw.
In Raw, it's on Raw, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, sorry.
That is-
Oh, I didn't even take it.
I listened to it.
I didn't take it in.
Wait, before that, we had the women's mid.
I was gonna bring that after. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
No, I was
okay.
just
Go on,
following
Derek.
what was on the screen.
The New
Yeah.
Day,
So let's talk about
What
the
did-
New Day stuff.
the greatest segment in wrestling history, almost.
This segment was phenomenal, and like I'd like to call on the fact that I had told everybody for months,
Shut up.
for months,
I muted myself.
that
Get that garbage out of here.
Woods was not going to turn on Kofi, and if anything, Kofi was going to turn with him. I will admit, though, I did not expect this. I didn't expect them
Big E
to
coming out, or-
turn. No, I expected Big E to come out. I didn't expect them to turn on Big E.
Craziness, bro.
You want to
I
go
didn't
big?
expect-
Didn't say that.
So I thought overall this segment was phenomenal. Like, you know, like having people kind of remember like all the accolades of the New Day, and people feel like, oh yeah, no, you guys are amazing together. Them teasing the breakup, Big E kind of coming out and kind of like showing like, yo, like, well, like, you know, like Kofi, you were about to retire, and like Woods came in and like basically gave you a reason to keep on going, and like, you know, kind of like reminding them like, yo, like we did this because like we had nothing left and we were able to build something. And then Big E offers himself and says, you know what, like I'll be back as your manager, and I'll be with you guys every week just to remind you guys of how good you are, but like, yo, like don't break this up. And you know, everyone was just like, yeah, this is perfect, this is what we wanted, this is what we wanted. Like Xavier Woods just says, you're gonna come back now?
How about no?
It's like you're gonna come back like you've been here, you've been doing your thing.
Bro,
like, if
cooked
you-
by Xavier, but go on.
Like if you could come back as a manager, and like despite the fact that you can't be in the ring, then why are you choosing now when we've been arguing for months when he could have came back a year ago, 2 years ago?
Mhm.
And you know, Big E was kind of hoping that like, well, you know, Kofi would have his back, and Kofi delivered one of the greatest lines that I have heard all year. So you broke her, you broke her neck. So what?
Stone Cold broke his neck.
But he
And
mentioned
he
a lot of
came back.
people. He mentioned
Kurt
Kurt
Angle
Angle.
broke his neck.
He,
Edge
men-
broke his neck.
he mentioned Edge. bro.
Whoever
Broke
Edge
his
is,
neck?
bro. I don't even know who Edge is.
You know, all these
You
people
know,
broke
it
their neck.
would have been hard if they said, "Yo, even Paige broke her neck." That would
Chris
have been
Benoit
hard.
didn't break his neck, but still impactful.
You know, so Kofi basically said like, nah, you chose to do your own thing. You chose to focus on your girl. Like,
Yeah, they said he's like it
Crazy.
was supposed to be us versus the world, and you chose your girl. He's like you chose a desk job in the back. He's like, and then that's when Xavier Woods is like do us a favor and go do what you do best and go back to your desk in the back.
Booked.
He's like, tell everyone the
Crazy.
truth. You're never gonna come back. Your neck is never going to heal. Yeah, it was horrific.
a lot of people were emotional the whole time I was watching. I was just like, this is perfect. This is amazing. This is great.
They took it. And a lot of people are saying too that this is a slight way of Big E saying that he's never coming back or that he might come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and this is the perfect thing that they could have done, because Big E's been gone for 2 years, 2.5 years now. It's gonna be 3 years in March or April since he broke his neck. The
Rich Holland did.
WWE doesn't know what's going to happen. Like, Big E doesn't know what's going to happen. Like, he's really just leaving it up to the doctors and what they say, whatever the doctors say. Like, if he can wrestle again, he's gonna start taking bumps. He's gonna train. He's gonna come back to the ring. And if they tell him, you know what, it's probably better off that you retire, then he's gonna retire. He's gonna do other things. I think the biggest issue with the New Day over the last couple of years has been the fact that, like, they have been stagnant, because it's always kind of been like, you guys are here, but we're waiting for Big E. And in order for them to really evolve and to be able to stay relevant and to stay in the conversation, which they've been able to do successfully over the last couple of months, they have to be able to move forward without him there, because he is just a fixture that's there that is adding to the group right now.
And Xavier mentioned that in the promo.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So I think that it's perfect, because, like, a lot of people are looking at it as like, oh, like, Big E got kicked out of the New Day. And honestly, I don't see it that way, because quite frankly, if Big E does get cleared, they can easily write a storyline back in where Big E comes back, and they can either feud, or Big E could decide, yeah, you know what, like, I'm here now, like, let's run it back kind of thing, right? And they could do it there. But until that's a thing, like, they need to focus in on Kofi and Xavier Woods.
Kofi Woods.
As much as
That could be
possible.
their new name, bro.
I know, they need a new name. The old day.
You know, so I thought it was
Newer day.
perfect. I'm super stoked,
The
because again,
semi-decent day?
like, decent day.
Recent.
I think it's perfect because, one, like, Xavier Woods has been chomping at the bit to be a heel again, like, for years.
Mhm.
So he finally gets to be in his element. Kofi Kingston hasn't had a lot of time of being a heel. Like, he did in their first initial run as the New Day, that lasted for like maybe like a year before everyone was just like, wait, we really like you guys, so they went back to being baby faces. But, like, Kofi's been in the business for this long, and this is the first time that he gets to really, like, lean into being a full-fledged heel. I'm expecting, like, a full-on change in their characters and their demeanor, and I'm excited to see it, because I want to see what they can really do as, like bad guys, as opposed to being, like, obnoxious, like, funny bad guys, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for this, and I've been excited for months. And to everybody on the internet who was, like, expecting Xavier Woods to turn his back on his brother, y'all could go suck a lemon, all right? I called it. I knew that they
Full
were going to
lemon.
do it.
A full lemon.
Triple H, bro. Triple H knows what he's doing as well, so it's not going to be some half-ass attempt. We wouldn't have gotten this anyways back with that old guy. This is one of the greatest segments in wrestling history. We've had so many moments since Triple H was in charge, whether it be with the Bloodline, like one-line promos or something. New Day deserves to be, back. They had their promo against the Usos. I feel like that's the last one that I remember. But this one, serious business. The New Day is not to be messed with. They've always been really good. It's about time they got their flowers with this segment and going forward. Let's get it. Give the titles to Otis and to Zawa, and let the New Day jam it off of them right now.
That'll bring us to the next story, actually.
That's what people were saying.
That brings us to the next story, actually, because the entire night, Judgment Day were also having their conversations. The first thing being EO Sky, well, just Damage Control in general. They had a match against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, where Liv Morgan and Raquel ended up winning. Rhea Ripley had to come out to help. Finn mentioned a lot where he says, "Oi, if you listen to Finn, you win." All right. So he called out all of Judgment Day, saying that you should do better. If you listen to me, you'd be a champion like me. He kept challenging Gunther all night. Ended up Dominic versus Gunther instead. This actually starts pushing, and we've been seeing the last couple of weeks of Dominic almost turning face. And a lot of people are excited where Dominic, he's actually fighting on his own, and he's actually not running away all the time. He's fighting in general, but still playing that heel character, kind of like how Eddie Guerrero was as a face. He did the same thing with Gunther. It was a great match, even though it was a quick. He ended up losing. But as Finn was calling out Liv Morgan in the day, he called out Dominic Mysterio, and he said, if you listen to me, then you wouldn't be in this situation. He just gives a bunch of coup de grace to Gunther. And at the end of the night, he asks Pierce for the championship match. They agreed. The match is going to happen. But then, which ties into what you said earlier, he says, you also have a title. You haven't defended it. You're lucky the War Raiders are not here. So on Saturday night's main event, you get to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. But next week, we have to talk about your other title match, which the tag team titles are most likely going to be defended next week. And they're most likely losing those titles. So again, he mentioned the War Raiders. It could be the War Raiders. But as you said, it could potentially be a new day, as they would say. Maybe an old day. I don't know. Someone's going to end up winning the titles.
People are saying that it would make sense if Tozawa and Otis are the the transitional champions. You get that huge pop. They're feel good, feel good win, underdog story, and then the New Day just absolutely crushed their hearts and just started off right.
That would be nice, actually.
Also, people were saying that Otis and Tozawa were the first kind of chink in the New Day's armor before they, had their arguments. So it tie in very nicely if they beat them for the titles. But again, it could just be heel versus heel. Triple H does what he wants, so.
And
either way, New Day's winning.
We'll
see what happens.
At the same time, they also have this rivalry with Damian Priest. He got jumped after the pay-per-view. They had a video package they showed on Raw. I did not count that as points because it's just a video package.
I didn't either. Bullshit, bro.
But I was bringing this. Oh yeah, Damian Priest is probably going to cost them the titles as they cost his title, which will further the rivalry. He probably even cost them the world title. But that's most likely what's happening, because it looks like JD McFunklepop has been in the background doing nothing. The tag team titles are more deserving of actual tag teams which are around, and I think the New Day has run its course. It looks like they are breaking internally. Sorry, what did I say? New Day? Sorry, Judgment Day. Judgment Day are breaking internally. Again, Dominic Mysterio looks like he's turning this face in between heel thing. Finn already wants to be solo. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez is fine. That just leaves Carlito, who's actually been doing nothing, and JD McFunklepop, which we'll see you guys on the unemployment line, bud. That was the one story. The other story of the day is the mid-card Intercontinental title. And at the end of the day, it was, I don't know why it's escaping my mind, Dakota Kai.
The women's one? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the women's Intercontinental
Dakota
title.
Kai, Shayna Baszler, and that bum from the dancers from Moda.
The girl who won the American Ninja Warrior. That girl. Yeah, the party girls. Anyways, yeah, Dakota Kai won. Everyone was cheering her on, which we'll bring on a little bit later. People are cheering these mid-card women, and they're showing their spotlight.
Bro. It's good. They need it, because the tag team women division, as we were speaking in our private chat, is a little washed up, and it's very confusing. And they had a lot of people in factions when they didn't need to be, just so that they had a tag team aspect to them. But now they can go off and do their own thing. Honestly,
they should be dropping the women's tag team titles. I feel like now the tag teams are mixing with solo mid cards, and it's just like they seem all over the place.
Yeah.
But anyways, on to the men's Intercontinental title, because they're continuing the women's tournaments this next couple of weeks, which will lead to Saturday night's main event. On the men's side, they had a quick segment with Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker. He He pretty much, I
Oh,
think,
God, God.
challenged, I think Ludwig Kaiser for a match for later, but we'll see what that happens. And then again, the last thing was Drew, and that's Monday Night Raw.
Not too shabby, bro.
Mm.
I'm excited to see what Drew is gonna do. We
Drew.
spoke about the anti-bloodline. That's probably not gonna happen because apparently The Rock is not doing anything, but he might do something, but he won't. But he's also relaxing on a beach, so we're just gonna not think about him until he shows up.
What
I'm
can we say? But
excited.
you're welcome.
Exactly, bro. The one, Mona 2. Go watch it.
Now he's gonna make Moana 3 apparently.
I totally forgot that he did that.
Mhm.
What if he just does that and then doesn't show up until next year?
I don't think he's showing up until Netflix, personally.
Yeah, I don't think so
It makes
either.
sense.
Or maybe at
Makes
least a little
sense.
bit before, just to promote Raw. Speaking about Raw, next week, I think next week is the pay-per-view week, isn't it? Next Saturday.
I guess technically, yeah.
Saturday's main event. Before we move on, Seba
Yep.
actually mentioned to me earlier today, how is it going to work? Is it considered a pay-per-view? Is it not considered pay-per-view because it's on live TV and there's going to be commercials? So we can't multiply if there's commercials, you know?
We haven't even talked about Netflix, and that's coming up quicker than Saturday night. we have no idea. Maybe we should just hand me the dub, bro. Like it's you're out of contention.
I'm so close.
at this point.
I'm so close.
Let's move on
Anyways,
to the fantasy. Let's go, and then we'll get
well,
into the
we'll
sheets
do.
later.
Are you sure? You want to do that now?
Of course, bro. Let's.
Oh my
I
god.
want, just like when you were winning, bro. I want to see it. I want to
Okay,
hear
okay,
it.
okay. All right. So this is our wrestling fantasy. I don't even know what week we're in right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on the 12th week now. Currently, Matt is in the lead with 20 points. He's Mr. Consistent, as you guys can see here. I am the two-time reigning defending champion, of course, with 17 points, lagging a little bit behind. And then Derek with 9 points, with the potential of reaching double digits today, is third currently. And as we've always posted the rules, we have our team set up. I'll put it here. Oh, when it shows. We have 6 active spots, 2 main events, 1 women's, 1 women's/mid card, 1 mid card, and 1 tag team spot. Maximum 2 champions. And this is how the point system is set up. We're in a pay-per-view week, so the pay-per-view would count at the bottom. And then we have the wildcard rule for the team who loses. Homa, appreciate Derek for the affiliate anniversary chat. And these are the wildcards that are there.
Jello.
Did I miss something?
Jello. as
Oh
well.
my god, Jello!
everybody.
Appreciate it. All right, let's see how it went this week. Derek, you're first.
I lost.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Let's not even give any deliberation. All right.
This is the
We
wheel of
had
Derek, bro.
Sami Zayn, 68 points. Bronson Reed, 65 points. Candice
And
LeRae,
broken
took
ankles.
time, 35 points each. Kevin Owens, a promo, which
You
I
know
don't
why
even
you
know how-
lost, bro? Your tag team. They're
But
bad
they're not-
luck.
Yeah. Anyways, I
I can
got
show him a couple,
203
bro.
points, which is amazing. But keep in mind that a lot of our people got in the same matches that I got in, and so we're gonna be seeing some dastardly numbers. And unfortunately, my
crazy.
numbers are not dastardly enough.
This guy had
You
Gunther
could
on
have
the
had New
bench.
Day promo, bro. Confirmed.
This guy could have New Day. They appeared multiple times.
Could have had Braun Breaker and
Dude,
Shinsuke.
they only
as-
appeared like honestly, like if in comparison to like the other points, like I would have done
Whoa.
anything. I lost.
Buddy, mid
before
card,
before we move on, Derek has 3 champions. You have to drop somebody.
you do.
Who's the third now?
Shinsuke
Oh yeah,
is now
Shinsuke.
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA Knight, easy. Boom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Man, drop your raw damn person so I can pick him up, bro.
This guy has Gunther,
Asshole.
bro. You could use Gunther's that submission finish. Could earn you
Come
points.
on, that's easy
Honest-
points, bro.
like he would have went in Sami Zayn's spot, bro. Sami Zayn did his thing, so like it
Fair.
honestly would not have mattered
Yeah,
at
but
all.
Gunther won on Raw and the pay-per-view. That's all I gotta
A
say.
lot of our teams have some glaring gaps at this point with this whole.
It's okay. We'll figure it out after. We'll figure it out the next
Yeah.
season. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
coming soon.
Okay.
Eric's Rumbly Runners did good in some aspects, some didn't. My main event spot has been sleeping on Raw for the last couple of weeks with Seth and Damian costing me points. This time, Damian Priest, because of a submission finish, lost me negative 20 points this week. Cody Rhodes at least did something on SmackDown. Jimmy Uso did some things. I think he earned more points for just being there and then breaking his toe or whatever it was. Rhea Ripley appeared on Raw, SmackDown, and she earned me a lot of points in the pay-per-view because she decided just to wear her mask and just be like she thinks she's a freaking Craniodos out there, you know? And then Dominic Mysterio, because of course Matt added the one, so I had to add the one. He did his thing, but he did end up losing anyways, so it didn't earn me that many points. Bianca and Io were my temporary team, but I'm going to fix this for this week. Total of 384 points. Jade's dead. This is the rest of my team.
Remember when Chad Gable was dead too, bro?
Oh yeah, shot in the head, bro.
Jade, same thing. All right. I'm not gonna stall. The team went up. All right. We had like probably like half of the War Games mans in my match.
I know.
Or in my starting lineup. Finn Balor, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of cheesed until I seen Raw. He did like 18 coup de grace onto Gunther's chest. Lovely. Roman Reigns, he talks, he shows up, he talks, and then he Superman punches. So he did that, and it was a long match, so ×3, of course. Jey Uso, same thing. Didn't do as many spears as I thought he would, but that's fine. We got other Samoans on the team to get us up there.
Did you give him his
Speaking
negative?
about other Samoans,
He
we
lost
got
the match,
Naomi there. What?
Did you give him his negative? He lost the match.
No, because I have the person he lost to.
Okay, so he just balanced it
technically
out.
doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah. Which worked out for me lovely. Same with Roman. That's why I didn't give him the 10 points. Naomi, another Samoan, lovely.
Another Samoan.
Sorry, another married into the bloodline Samoan. Didn't do too much, but ×3, we'll take it. Nia Jax, same thing. Did a couple leg drops.
Is
Lovely
Samoan?
jubbly. Also Samoan. Bro, my whole team's Samoan, and they all use their bum.
They're all part of the bloodline. You're just the bum line.
I learned for last season. It was starting to come around, and then we cut the season, so I had to pick them up. Solo and Jacob, it's 2-pager, unless Eric minimized it.
No, I think it's still going. Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, so again, a lot of Jacob Fatu, bro. Bear moonsaults.
I know.
It's lovely. And Solo, he hit a couple spikes. They're in the same segments. They talk, or sorry, Solo talks, Jacob doesn't, but still points. For a grand total, and this might be the high score, 459 points.
459 points, which means Matthew is the winner again of this week. The pay-per-view week, actually. And then I would be second place with +1. And Derek, Mr. Inconsistent, is back at the bum. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Again.
Oh, yeah, man.
Again, we're supposed to be ending our season now. Technically, this would have been the last week because Survivor Series was our last point of the year. December comes around, of course, Christmas is happening. Now that we're counting the points, I added it here, right? But I didn't add it here. 23. I'm at 18.
Does that mean it's happening?
And then Derek is at 0. So Matt is now escaped a lot because we were going to wait for, what's it called? We were going to wait for Saturday night's main event. But again, it's going to be complicated because it's not a pay-per-view and stuff. Even if I won this week and I won the week after, Matt would have to lose all weeks, which I think at this point might be impossible. So I think mathematically speaking, Matt has clinched the championship of the year.
Yes!
Matt is
oh
one.
My God! Finally!
He's ×1 champion.
Eric, you should be cheering too. Eric hasn't won, bro. Finally! There's hope for all of us.
Oh my God, let's
And
jump
I do
in
this
there.
for you,
Easy.
Derek. I do this for us. Next season is yours, my friend. I got the trophies made. I didn't even know I was gonna win, so this is lovely. Thank you, Johnny. I'd like to thank everyone. I'm just rubbing it in as much as Eric did. I need to get my 5 minutes of fame before Eric comes back next season and becomes the 3-time
I'm
champion.
coming back.
He's about to beat Ric Flair's record.
I'm signing
so
Jey Uso exclusively. I chose
Thank
Cody
you to
Rhodes and I made a
everyone.
mistake.
we'll be back Monday Night Raw on Netflix, baby. We
Yes,
have to come
sir.
up with some new rules, and you already know we're
Mhm.
bringing the new rules to our fantasy league as well.
We'll probably set it up the next couple of weeks because we were discussing earlier in the chat, of course, behind the scenes. If you guys want to look behind the scenes, watch on YouTube.
Exclamation point social.
We were discussing how we were going to set up the teams next year because we've been struggling sometimes either due to injuries or just because how we drafted and how we moved it around throughout the year. Sometimes there's not like a main event spot or sometimes there's not a mid card spot. So we were discussing today that we are going to preset who is a Raw main eventer, who's a SmackDown main eventer, who's a mid carder, who's in tag team, and then we draft from these pools instead of us just like randomly looking throughout the roster. But that would take time, so maybe the next couple weeks, instead of having the fantasy league counter because the weeks are done, we would actually be just setting it up. And then maybe even asking the chat if you guys consider this a main eventer, this person a mid carder, if you guys want to help us out with that.
Great.
So we
Make
can
sure
do
you
that
guys tune in.
the next couple of weeks. Especially it'll probably cool down because it's Christmas, so we'll see how that ends up working. And then again, if anyone has ideas from a wild cards, I think the wild card system worked this year. No.
I think it was pretty good. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was pretty good, yeah.
You could speak on it more than us, bro.
I think it did. I think it did pretty decent. It definitely threw some wild, some curveballs in there, some knucklers. You know, I
Capricious.
would say, I would say that the wild cards are very capricious. Yes.
So maybe we'll come up with some new ones. Again, we have to come up with new rules because the Netflix don't have commercials, or they will.
We have to
We'll
figure
see
it
how
out.
that shakes out. If not, I'm sure we'll figure something out, or we'll take that multiplier out and maybe do it per champion basis or something like that.
That's another
You
thing.
know what I
Sorry,
mean?
that Seba's mentioned today. Now that there's so many champions on the cards, especially now they have women's mid cards, 2 of them.
About that.
We got to think about maybe having 3 champions per team this time because at this rate, everyone's a champion. And it also might make it competitive because, for example, let's say I have the tag team champions. We still have people missing like LA Knight. Nia Jax was missing the entire year. I don't think anyone has Liv Morgan. There's a lot of champions in general that's just missing out that we could be adding onto the team and making it more competitive overall instead of like us having sometimes bums in the middle, right? So
Sounds good.
we
And
can,
especially if we list them all out, like you said, in the upcoming weeks, of course, on the stream, it'll be better than us just randomly drafting from faces on the WWE website.
Exactly.
Because we implemented last season, I think, or the season before, these specific categories for locking our wrestlers, and your boy might have been abusing it a bit. Okay, I admit it, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Solo and Jacob aren't a tag team, but they are.
They're in what's it called, a faction or whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Maybe it'll be one Raw, one SmackDown, and then one either tag team or women's champion. You know, so there's some flexibility. Since again we keep getting injured, I don't know how it'll work. Tag teams are a whole mess. So.
And then even sometimes throughout the year, I guess we have to figure out a system where, let's say for example, Finn right now is tag team champions with JD McFunklepop, but once they lose those tag titles, I swear to God, Finn is gonna be pushed to the moon. He's gonna be main eventer. So in those situations, or like even earlier this year, Gunther was IC champion, so technically he was in the mid card spot, but then he became world champion, so all of a sudden he's a main event spot. Same with Jey Uso, he was hunting for the world titles. He's main event Jey Uso, but then he became IC champion, which he was mid card. So in those instances, I guess we could change it up, or when teams make up or when teams break up, that I guess we can also discover and figure out throughout the weeks. But as we were discussing,
we'll have to list it under our teams as we count points, or if anyone sees anything when they're counting their points, to have a little bit of a debate every week instead of just adding up the points. We'll have to adjust players as they go, and then hopefully there's enough wrestlers for us. We might have to actually cut down on spots, to be honest.
I was thinking the same thing too. Like
you guys think so?
roster. I don't know. Like, I mean, you saw. Like, I was struggling to even find like an extra spot because like, a lot of people there's a lot of people on the roster, but they're not being featured week to week, right?
Mhm.
So
Well, there's two things. One of them is also that we're handicapped with two champions. If we had more champions, those spots would be filled because we would obviously choose the champions, right? We would have chosen an
Fair.
LA Knight if we had the
Right.
chance the entire time, right? And then the other thing is Raw got cut to 2 hours, so that cut a lot of our times down and a lot of those
Right.
wrestlers in between, right? Because look, sorry, I forgot. We're supposed to discuss what's supposed to happen next week. Next week, Monday Night Raw is already booked. There is the Women's Intercontinental Tournament, so Lyra Valkyria. I forgot their other two bums, but they don't matter. They're
Oh.
losing to Lyra.
Natalia, of course. Yeah.
There's an
And,
eight-man
some other
tag.
bum.
There's an
Oh.
eight-man tag team match next week. It's
Is there?
it's the trash boys with Karrion Cross and
Final Testament.
and the Howdy
AOP.
Boys. The Howdy Boys are fighting
Put
next
some
week.
respect on Bray Wyatt's name, all right?
The Wyatt Six are fighting next week.
Yeah.
The Wyatt Six face off next week against the Final Testament. The Testes.
That should have been the War Games with Joe Testosterone, bro, as their manager.
Oh my god.
And then Finn's supposedly tag team match is supposed to be next week. So, and then
There was
Rhea
another one.
Ripley
Raquel
versus
has the match.
Raquel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So there is a lot going on. I'm just gonna say I'd win next week. That's all I have to say. Yeah, there's a lot going on this week. So,
And we haven't even gotten to SmackDown this week, which is going to feature Bloodline and Paulie Heyman, I assume.
So it depends moving forward. Again, if they move Raw back to 3 hours, if they extend it, maybe they'll showcase more wrestlers. But yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. Maybe we add those third champions, or we'll see what chat says and see how we can figure everything out. But till then, that is the fantasy draft. That's what the next couple of weeks will be for anyway, setting that up. Matt, congratulations, you are champion. He is a champion.
Yeah, I am.
Derek, spin the
I'm
wheel
gonna
anyways.
rap.
Okay.
Spin the
I just
wheel.
want- I
Spin
want
the-
somebody to get Tagaloa, bro. Even though Eric had him on his team this whole
I know.
time, but I didn't realize.
Well, for like
last
2 weeks. For like 2 weeks. He got ban a wrestler for week. So you'd have to choose one of our wrestlers
crazy.
and ban them. Also, again, if you guys give us advice more on different wildcards that we can add, we would take it. Because even us, we were discussing, like, is it just one wrestler for one team? Should it be one wrestler for both teams? Let us know if we nerf people enough, or if you should be nerfing more to make it equal.
Well, maybe we'll have a look as well within and see. You know what, Derek? You can have that for the first week. Netflix era fantasy. You're welcome.
Just,
Thanks, dude.
just ban Matt. It's not mine.
No, it's for both now. All right, what's next, bro?
It
Are
could
we
be for
getting-
both.
are
Yep.
we-
You know what it is.
oh my
Let's
God.
get
Do
lost.
we have a new segment, bro?
Yes, we have a new segment as well.
Let's get lost in the sheets.
Nut up or shut up. All right. All right. We're going straight into AEW because you guys love that juicy AEW news.
Mhm.
Apparently, Dolph Ziggler's brother claims that AEW silently fired him. I didn't even know he was a wrestler, so
Jesus.
that's good. John Cena's to star in a Netflix comedy. Lovely. His last Netflix comedy. Banger. I don't know if you guys seen it. He was a fireman. And not Jordan Peele, but I guess what was it? Keegan Peele, the other guy? Keegan what's his name? Keegan Thompson?
Michael Keegan something.
Anyways, he was in that movie. Banger. It was a kids movie, but it was
Oh right, that movie. Yeah.
He made a comedy
remember.
on Amazon Prime too with I forgot her name. It's an actress. She was in Shang-Chi.
Awkwafina. Yeah, I have to watch that still. No spoilers, please.
Banger of a movie.
Taz gives an update on his knee surgery. Didn't know he got one. Becky Lynch was seen amongst the Netflix crew in the media event, so she's coming back soon. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, she's supposed to show up.
She's famous.
She's supposed to show up in the first Netflix episode of Raw, and there was rumors that day that Becky Lynch was going to debut herself back in WWE on that night, and she was there. So she didn't technically debut and say she's back, but she was there. So sometimes those rumors, those sheets,
always
are credible.
According to Fightful, Kevin Nash was supposed to reach NXT before Deadline Go Home show, but it fell through because he's injured.
Okay, didn't even know.
Yeah, the rest of like X-Pac and Eric Bischoff are there, so apparently Kevin Nash was supposed to be there too. But
I've seen something else about Eric Bischoff here.
In the meantime, I guess I'll give you my sheet while you look for it. So Sonya Deville, as we were talking a lot about the mid-card titles, so there's the United States Tournament, United States Championship Women's Tournament, and the Intercontinental Women's Tournament. Sonya Deville's not in any, and she just popped off on Twitter, which is now X today, where she said that she's done so much for the company, she's been doing so much in general, and she can't even appear in one match. She thought it was very disrespectful. She called out Dakota Kai. She says Dakota Kai's been injured 4 times in 4 years. She can't even stay healthy, and all of a sudden everyone's cheering for her all of a sudden. It's like, how does that make sense? Why are you guys cheering for all these bums? Is what she was saying, and she was going off, and she said, I can't post the rest of the video, because if not, I'd probably be in very, very big trouble. So take that as you please, Natalia. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what more she wants, bro. She was the GM of Raw or SmackDown. She's in the video games while she was off air. I don't know if it was an injury, and she had that stalker way back when, so...
And you mentioned earlier today, you're like, Zoe Stark is already better in her group. Shayna Baszler is already better in her group.
They should be pushing them. I mean, Shayna, what's her name?
Zoe Stark?
Sonya
Deville.
She's pretty good, but like,
I guess.
she can do her own thing by herself. She doesn't need to be the leader of this group. I'd rather have Shayna and Zoe Stark as a tag team and just let her do her own thing. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. But if she was talking trash about Natalia, I'm here for it.
Do you have any more to say, like in the sheets, or just in that subject?
Oh no, I have more.
Okay.
So this MLW was presented by Eric Bischoff. Famous names wrestling on this card. It's actually happening now. It started at 9, so they're 30 minutes in. We have the famous names of Matt Riddle and Donovan Dijak. Lovely match. Bobby Fish is on the card.
Bobby Fish.
And I just clicked in, and good old... I was about to say Alberto Del Rio. What's his name? Ricardo Rodriguez. Sorry, is there, looking legendary, bro. Yeah, but I guess Eric Bischoff is presenting this show, so good luck to them. I think there was one more piece of news. Give me 1 second. I don't know if Derek has anything to add.
the sheets.
Of course, bro.
There, I guess, is ongoing discussion on The Rock.
That was my next thing.
The sheets is going rampant and continuing to basically not know what The Rock is doing for WrestleMania.
Oh my god.
There was sheets released in I guess a month ago that would say that The Rock wasn't expected to appear at WrestleMania, and then The Rock was just like, don't believe everything that you hear. And now the sheets are going back rampant, saying that the WWE is moving forward with creative plans, assuming that The Rock will not be there. But things could change at any point in time, depending on what The Rock's schedule is and what he decides that he wants to do. And that is kind of... So, and I feel like this isn't like extremely newsworthy, because this is pretty much what The Rock does when it comes to his WrestleMania schedule. It's like, yeah, like I'd like to do something, but we'll see what happens, kind of thing. And I think it very much, like, it very much.
He does this, bro, and then they're like, "Oh my god, write him in."
There was also like a report that they were saying that The Rock's appearance at Bad Blood at the end of the show was like not meant for anything. It was just for him to get screen time, which I think is complete bullshit.
Then why would he do all this signaling? Bro?
Right? Like it's like obviously he's leaning towards something. Like it wouldn't just be, oh, I just want to be on screen, so here we go. Like they wouldn't change the whole booking of a match just for him to appear and like just for the sake of it. Like there is obviously intention with everything that is being done. And so this is very much heavily taken with a grain of salt in regards to what The Rock is going to do. Based off of what I feel like I know about what I've seen from The Rock, like I think that they're too deep into this bloodline storyline for him not to do something for it. And you know, barring his busy like Hollywood schedule, wherever the case may be, like he is very much involved with WWE. So I would not be surprised if he does get involved as soon as the Netflix episode. But yeah, a lot of people are talking a lot of stuff in regards to The Rock's status and like, oh, he's not coming, he may not come, or whatever. But again, like the sheets are so limited.
I heard
So
I heard somebody say The Rock, since he's part of TKO, is gonna make himself the 31st
Yeah,
entrant in
yeah.
the
I saw
Royal
that.
Yeah, I
Rumble.
heard, I heard that one
Bro,
too.
that'd be so
do
sick.
it,
That would be
please.
so
Use
sick.
uses power, and then like the timer goes down, and it's him. I
Michael
think it'd
Cole's
be
like,
perfect.
what's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And it says
Oh
31
my God.
entrant. Yeah, it'd be fantastic, bro. I think it would really be good. I was gonna say other sheets too, just regarding that situation from people
Yeah.
mentioning online, is that and I think we said it earlier too, where you guys should expect more now moving forward. Now towards the road to WrestleMania, we have a lot of things. The return of Saturday Night's Main Event, Raw on Netflix, a huge arena building for Royal Rumble, huge arena building for the return of the Sky
Elimination.
Dome at Elimination Chamber in Toronto, and then 2 nights of WrestleMania, and apparently supposedly another Saturday Night's Main Event is what NBC is interested in too. So there's enough time for returns, surprises during then. And the major thing is The Rock didn't appear this time on pay-per-view because he's not chasing the bloodline. He's chasing Cody Rhodes. So potentially it's Saturday Night's Main Event. You could be smelling the air, if you would say, but again, that's in the sheets. Take it with a grain of salt. That's my time.
The one more thing I'm gonna say is that this has knocked down my drink. This has CM Punk getting very angry and quitting the company written all over it. All right, The Rock's gonna steal his position, and CM Punk's gonna
Again.
blow up. So just remember, bookmark this video. Do whatever you have to do. Triple H, put me on TV. I said it first. All right.
He has a favor though.
Because yeah, exactly. He's gonna ask for the favor to be in the main event, and
He's
then
gonna
The
say
Rock's gonna take it away from him. CM Punk's gonna blow up, bro. It's done. His career. You're gonna chance CM Punk. He's never coming back this time. But he also faces allegations in AEW for abuse and harassment by ex-employees. It looks like maybe Nick Nemeth. I don't know, or sorry, his brother. But I didn't watch the video. But you know,
We see a Punk?
yeah, typical stuff, bro. So
That's
go
funny.
watch that video if you want. Other than that, we talked about the injuries earlier, but War Games, that's not really in the sheets. I don't know how long they're going to be out. That's Derek's field. I'm just here.
Yeah, he broke his
Also,
ankle
Matt
up his
Riddle
bone.
showed up in TNA, so if you guys care.
We did?
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, at Turning Point.
Oh.
Gay.
But he's also on MLW right now, so
Okay.
anywho,
Salt?
Salt.
Gonna be salty.
Keep saying it. I take it with a grain of salt.
Sam Laporta ran away, guys, from Glory.
All right, salt it up, Derek.
So I just read something else in the sheets that I will also take with a grain of salt, but apparently, Finn Balor is set up for a sustained singles push in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I like
That
that.
he's
It's
a.
about time.
I forgot I was gonna bring that up earlier. That he's a
I think you mentioned it
a
a
back
little bit.
a background character. Like he's one of the top people in the locker room. Everyone, he's respectable. He's a respectable person.
Yeah,
Him
Yeah,
and Shinsuke, they deserve their flowers. So I hope Triple H
Absolutely.
is doing them right. And I
Absolutely.
think AJ was gonna get the same thing too, until he
Got hurt.
had to put the fries in the bag. But
he broke
anyways.
his foot. But
president.
I'm 100% I'm 100% for a singles push for Finn Balor. I think it's due. I think that a world championship reign is something that is sorely needed for him, but since he hasn't really been able to enjoy a full world title reign, like since he's been on the main roster. The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. Grain of salt. What
But
else?
but Derek from DMFC, it said that he has no plans for WrestleMania.
I don't give a shit. All right.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
I don't give a shit. But
Cody's gonna be so mad when Rock tells him that he burnt down his trailer, bro. Just
how
like we
do
said last year.
how do we feel of the idea
love it.
of a Cody Rhodes heel turn in 2025?
I love it.
Let Finn be the face. Sounds great, bro.
I just feel that.
He's stagnant.
Well, I've been feeling that he's stagnant, but I just also feel that like after the Kevin Owens feud, you have, I guess, The Rock.
Randy
You
Orton,
have Randy.
John,
I feel like
Big Up Fatu.
his time. I just want to turn heel.
His time is up. His time is now.
Yeah, I think I discussed with this earlier where he's making a lot of money and he's on the top, but like it'd be a nice swerve where he turns heel as champion and he still hangs on to the title.
Yeah,
Like, he doesn't
that's what
lose
I
it,
want.
but like now he's just kind of like, as you said, Homelander. He's just cracked.
Who are they building up though? Is the question. Are they just
Cody
gonna use
Rhodes.
old talent? I meant the face.
Well, I mean, Roman Reigns is pretty much like one of the top baby faces of
Oh,
SmackDown
sorry,
right now.
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
that would be.
Take it with a grain of salt.
LA
He's moving
Knight.
to Monday Night Raw.
Barry LA Knight, crazy.
Roman
Yeah,
Reigns to Raw because CM Punk wants Paulie Heyman and he doesn't want Roman to be on the same show as him because Lord knows they're not giving him no goddamn main event at WrestleMania. It's impossible. There's already too many people that could have the main event. They're
Triple
not giving it
threat.
to CM Punk.
Well, I guess we'd have to talk to USA Network about that because I don't think there's any way in hell that USA is going to be giving up Roman Reigns.
I
If
don't.
they get CM Punk though,
If they get CM Punk, then maybe, but I don't know.
Does he move the needle though?
I don't know if that's gonna happen. Like you said, I don't know if it's gonna happen. But I've heard it. I heard it in the salt, not in the sheets. I heard
Like
it in the salt.
I know Netflix wants Netflix wants everybody. But you know Fox wanted everybody too when they moved over to Fox. So that didn't really work out too well either. So
Fair.
Though they did get a lot of people that time.
they did, but for like how long? The Rock showed up for one day. Cena showed up for a small run and then he left. They got AJ and big dog Roman Reigns
LA Knight.
are getting fed like dog food.
Big dog, bro. That was the thing I was gonna have a discussion about. I was thinking, I was like, can we say Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time when he had such a shit entrance into the wrestling space, but now he's literally like just in his reign. Oh my god, no pun intended. The Bloodline whole story. It's like literally the greatest storyline we've had in wrestling. But I mean, he technically doesn't have the accolades like John or Randy, but do we care?
I mean, he has a. I mean, he's like again, like the fact that he's like one of the longest reigning champions of all time is something that is that supersedes Randy and John. So I
And
think
he's about to have the most WrestleMania main events consecutively, or just in general. of all
he already
time.
passed it. I think he already passed it when he did the double main event last year. I think he passed Hogan for the most.
That's what
Thought
I
he
like
was
to hear,
tied.
baby. Scratch that guy off the list. I don't even think he makes the Mount Rushmore. All you people that say Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan.
shit worker, bro. So what, bro? Some people believed in him back then. Nah. It's
So
a
you
new-
broke your net. So what?
It's a new day. I don't put him on there anymore. I don't know. I was just thinking about this recently. Like Roman Reigns, he's that guy, but back in the day he was trash, bro. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but you could say the same thing about John Cena back in the day too. Like no one really acknowledged him
Acknowledge him.
for years, and now people are now saying that like his championship reigns are deserved, that he deserves to be considered the greatest of all time. But like when he was racking up those championship reigns, no one rated him. So
It's almost like they were
Yeah, but 'cause
considered
they're
flops,
haters, bro.
but did they end up becoming not?
Oh my god, great segue, fam.
Oh my god. So, ladies and gentlemen, Matt has decided to make a new segment on the podcast called
or
That's
not.
flop or not.
So I guess every week I'll come with like 3 things. We're gonna say they're flops or not. We can talk about it. This was more supposed to be at the end of the year how everyone's year went and if they were flop or not.
It is the end of the year.
But instead we're just gonna do a weekly segment that we could talk about certain specific topics. Let's just start off. Is the War Games match at Survivor Series a flop or not? Do you guys want it to go back? Again, I was going to say this as Derek was mentioning it, but do you guys want it to go back to just Survivor Series matches?
Oh
You want a mix?
boy.
Or do you
shit.
think the War Games match is gone? Is it a flop or is it not? And then let
Oof.
me know what you feel.
I think
Uh,
that's hard.
That's hard. I miss the Survivor Series matches. The problem with the Survivor Series matches is that there wasn't any point to them, right? So like that's why they were flopping in recent years because they were just booking like 5-on-5s and there wasn't really any story or reason. It was just like, hey, we're gonna put these 5 guys together and these 5 people together, and we're gonna have a Survivor Series like match, and there's not gonna be any story leading out of it. There's not gonna be anything that comes out of it. It's just gonna be 5-on-5. Here we go, kind of thing, right? Whereas like I look back to like the old Survivor Series matches where like one of my favorite ones, the 2003 one, where it was Stone Cold Steve Austin's team versus Eric Bischoff's team, and if Eric Bischoff's team won, that Stone Cold Steve Austin had to quit the company, kind of thing, right? There was like tangible stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that with Triple H on the helm, like he could definitely make the Survivor Series matches mean something and not them just be booked for the sake of being booked. That being said, the War Games match is iconic. But I feel like again, it's something that they can incorporate both matches in. Like they could do a Survivor Series match and a War Games match and put them on the same pay-per-view, or they could save War Games for for other occasions. Like it doesn't necessarily have to happen on here.
Like a beef thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why I don't know if you're
I don't know,
done,
I'm
but I was just gonna say it's a flop because it was good for the last couple of years, but I think they need to save it like Hell in the Cell. We already have Elimination Chamber kind of thing, and if your main stars are all going to be in this match, which it seems like obviously you want the main stars in these big matches, if they're going to be jumping off the top of the cage and breaking their ankles, I don't think it's a good
Fantastic
idea.
time.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah. I would say
especially-
like yeah.
Yeah, like 5 months before WrestleMania, I don't think it's a good idea, personally. But again, like you said, there needs to be stakes. I don't know what that'd be. Maybe for the draft, but oh my god.
Bless you.
Yeah, I think it's a flop personally. It's been good, but I think we should save it for more beefs, especially now with the bloodline tailing away. I don't think you're gonna have, enough people and enough beefs for it to actually mean anything.
I'm gonna say not. I understand both points of view. I've been enjoying them because like it's a whole different concept. It's not one ring, it's 2 rings, it's 2 cages. We don't see that many cage matches. The other thing now with Triple H's eras is a lot of like international or like separate events going on, but not a lot of gimmicky things. So Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, yeah, it's near the beginning. And what do you have in the middle? Only Money in the Bank. Occasionally Hell in a Cell. That I think was okay with me because Hell in a Cell is like one of those like massive finale things. But something such as War Games, I feel like it's not. I feel like it's just like an event that happens. So yes, I do miss the old Survivor Series matches. I wish they probably incorporated in between. But I thought this year it was okay with how they set up the mid-card titles in the middle. Maybe if they don't do it every year, let's say next year, regular Survivor Series, the year after War Games, just to make it not so that it's like, oh, we expect it every year, we get bored of it, but at least have it every once in a while, right? So this year's War Games, next year's not. Next year's more traditional, because even they started trying with like traditional matches, but it was like Raw versus SmackDown at one point. I think Derek, we went to Survivor Series at one point when it was Raw versus SmackDown, right? So I don't know. I think it's okay for now. I think maybe next year they should switch back to traditional, and the year after go back to War Games. That way, just not to bore us. But I was excited for War Games. Cage matches, items. And it was still 5v5, so sign me up for that. I was gonna say, Matt, what's your next one? But he's gone for a bit. I don't know, Derek, you want to select a flop or not this year? If you have something in mind, either person, gimmick, match, Matt himself.
Okay.
Is Matt flop or not?
Okay, I got I mean we talked about it a few times this year, but let's go back to it. Cody Rhodes' championship reign. Flop or not?
Not. Also, I had an idea while I was sneezing and blowing my nose.
Mm.
If you do the Survivor Series match, have it so whereas the team that wins, all the members in that match are entered into the Money in the Bank match, and nobody else can get into it, kind of thing. Or they have like a qualifier for a 6-man.
But is it Money in the Bank like the opposite side of the year?
Yeah.
Exactly, but at least it gives them something to go against, or maybe like
Royal Rumble?
your Royal Rumble, like you get to pick your numbers, or you get to be in the Elimination Chamber for a chance at the title.
Yeah, it makes
Not
sense.
that I would want to wrestle in Survivor Series match and then also go to Elimination Chamber, but
Just love
something like
cages.
that, because I want them to do what they did at Crown Jewel, but you can't do that without somebody looking weak, where
Mhm.
it's like champion versus champion, Raw and SmackDown, and then you win something
Mhm.
at the end, but like I don't know what that is.
While you're
Well,
at it,
there's a
answer.
number of things.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Huh? No, continue. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say while you're at it, also answer Derek's question.
Which it's not been a flop. I don't think. As much as I hate Cody Rhodes, they're selling.
Yeah, I was
Bear
gonna say I
Cody
think it's a
Rhodes
financial
jackets.
success.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. And again, this Cody Rhodes is good. He's good at what he does. I'm sure he'll be way better as a heel, where he has more liberty. But him going up against KO, you can kind of see the glimmer of hope in his promos, where they haven't been so stagnant. And his feud against The Rock, of course, legendary. We were there in Brooklyn, so I'm just gonna say not. I don't really have anything else to say. It's been a success. Is it going to be a success going forward in the next year? Probably not, but we'll see.
Your turn, Derek.
Brown Breaker.
Yeah,
I
flop.
would say yeah.
Braun Breaker, flop.
No, I mean Cody Rhodes' championship reign has done everything that it's needed to do. I think the biggest challenge being in that position is being able to keep people engaged, and he still gets the loudest pops of the night every time he comes in. Right? People haven't turned on him. There are people on the internet who say shit about him, but like when he's in the arena, like no one's booing him. No one's tired of him. People, sing his song, they chant his name, like they really believe in the stuff that he's doing. And he did deliver some matches that I was interested in seeing. Although like his feud with AJ Styles, I enjoyed, even though like it felt like it was kind of like a blow off feud to kind of lead it to other things. But yeah, I mean, I
I'm allergic to
feel
flop or
like
not, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think we can do this going forward.
I
Sorry.
feel like even like comparing it to like his run last year after he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39 leading into WrestleMania 40, it felt like there was a lot of filler that was kind of going on with his feuds before we got to like the good stuff. And
Like
I feel like with
Shinsuke?
the championship reign, his stuff with Brock was really good, but like yeah, like there was just like a lot of like
Building
you
him
know
up to
things
get to
of
Roman's level.
yeah, just like stuff that kind of keep us distracted until we get to like the stuff that we really want to see, right? So I feel like they're holding off on the stuff that we really want to see, and they're kind of filling it in. But at the same time, like the stuff at KO has been excellent, right? So
Yeah.
the stuff with Solo, like Solo, I feel has, and I feel like I should put Solo on the flop or not list because I think that Solo has been doing incredible since WrestleMania. Like a lot of people didn't really take him seriously, didn't take the Bloodline seriously. And I feel like he's done really well at being able to kind of put himself into that main event role, have people react to him, to be put in those matches and not make it feel weird. And he's become a lot more comfortable on the mic as well. So I think
Buddy,
that
he
it's
kills it.
yeah. So
Love it. Anyways, I guess Eric, what do you think? And then you have a question in flop or not. That's how we do it. Each
Okay,
one
that
of us
makes
brings
sense.
it. I don't have to think about three.
What about
This is
Cody
great.
Rhodes?
Oh yeah, of course. You have to answer Derek's
Oh,
question first, unless I wasn't here.
The Cody Rhodes, right? That part?
Yeah.
Oh, I said it after you. I was like, yeah, no, I agreed with you. Like you're
Oh,
correct.
okay,
I said it's a financial success.
Okay, so now what do you say for flop or
I was
not?
gonna say it was just boring because They need someone at his level. You know what I mean? They build his character to be this Roman Reigns character, which is larger than life. And now that Cody Rhodes is larger than life, and he is. He, as Derek was saying, gets all the pops and they make all the money, and he's the guy now or whatever, right? But who is his like reverse? Who is his like the Batman to the Joker? You know what I mean?
What if he becomes evil and teams up with The Rock, and then it's CM Punk and Roman Reigns,
He joins the Bloodline. Oh my
and
god,
CM Punk is the one that takes him out?
could be possible.
Because it ain't gonna be The Rock, I can tell you that.
Because they need someone big, kind of like, I don't know, maybe CM Punk because his name alone, Roman
Or
Reigns,
John Cena.
The Rock,
That's the
or
only
John
one
Cena.
I can think of.
There has to be
Like-
big name, or Brock Lesnar. Like, it has to be like a big name that would attract someone who would actually threaten
Glock Lesnar?
threaten his legacy.
You didn't hear that one last night. Derek was here for that one though.
Jesus,
This guy's name was Glock Lesnar. Oh God, bro.
good God! Oh, don't
That's
worry,
crazy.
it's 10 o'clock
Yeah, I
right now.
remember
Don't
that.
worry, when the stream is done, we're bringing the fire.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
check
I
yeah,
think
tomorrow.
Derek. I think Angelo and Seba are waiting. They're somewhere there. Don't worry.
That's crazy.
Rain
I'll be
in
in
the-
the Disney, bro.
Right in the.
Sick.
Oh, saying when we're loaded up, we're sparking the zero.
I'll be playing One Piece Odyssey, but you guys can run in the COD, bro.
Guys, still looking for the One Piece? No, kidding. Okay, so it's
Whatever,
my
bro.
turn of flop or not. Okay, let me think of wrestlers this year, but someone who
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I just take a quick bathroom break? You continue.
okay.
Of course, bro.
Well, Matt can give his opinion. I'm trying to think of a name here. Something that will
That'll get the clicks.
Okay, this one I think Derek's gonna like. I'll do this one because she's on my team. They're on my team. Fantastic wrestlers. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. All right. Bianca Belair has been, ever since she debuted on the main roster, one of the main women. She's like the John Cena of the women. She's fantastic. She's athletic. She's strong.
Lovely.
She's the fastest, the toughest, the roughest, the meanest. You know,
She
she's
has the look.
EST.
She has the power. She's a 5-tool player, as they say. in
She's
baseball.
won all the championships that are
Everything.
required except for the mid cards because those are brand new. She's won
Soon.
both on Raw, on SmackDown. She's main event. She's been about all the storylines
She
with
won
all
the
the
Rumble?
faces, all the heels. I think she won the Royal Rumble already. I think
Just Money in the Bank is next. Anyways, continue.
she's won it all. She's done it all. She's a top star. Everyone, when Jade Cargill was trying to jump over, everyone was like, "Oh, she's like the perfect competitor or whatever." But as you guys can see, Jade Cargill's a little vanilla. You know, she's not there at athleticism or the way of wrestling wise. So she moves over from one company, comes to this company, and someone
Yeah.
established like Bianca Belair is kind of like taking her under her wing, their tag team or whatever. Do you think for both of them, are they a flop or not? Do you think this has been a successful year for them? Do you think they stalled the rivalry too long? Do you think they could have done better? Do you think they're going to do better?
I'm gonna say not, and it's not because I'm biased or anything. I think they haven't had a lot of wiggle room to give anyone the title. They put it on Nia. She's a strong competitor. They live in Rhea again with Rhea's injuries. They've been trying to extend that as long as possible. Doesn't give Bianca anything to do. Jade, again, like you said, is green. She's vanilla. She still needs a lot of. I mean, I haven't watched her in AEW. All right, I'm admit it. All right, but she's getting better at wrestling. She's doing cool moves. She just has to kind of get into her rhythm, kind of like Nia Jax. Whereas you're kind of like the bigger woman. You're doing specific like power moves at certain times. You kind of have to get your flow in the ring, kind of like Roman as well, where you're like kind of more slow, methodical. If that's your style, whereas the other people are more naturally gifted, they can fly around the ring and do whatever they want, kind of thing. I'm not saying that Jade isn't. She's fucking the toughest, the meanest, the baddest. But again, I don't feel like their rivalry, like, because we're thinking that's what's going to end at, has been stalled too long. I think it's still going to be cool when it happens. But again, if this was just to get Jade out of the War Games match, I'm all for it. If she didn't feel comfortable and didn't want to be in the match, so be it. Sets up another feud with somebody else, and then maybe we could see how she is as a solo performer against that person as kind of her first feud, I guess, without Bianca. But personally, I don't think it's a flop yet. It could be, but we'll have to see how Jade does on her own. We already know how Bianca is: roughest, toughest, meanest, baddest. and she could turn heel, which apparently everyone said her NXT heel run very good. So I'm excited.
So Derek, the question I asked was, now that Bianca Belair, she's won it all. She's won championships both Raw and SmackDown. She's been the main player ever since she joined the main roster. Um, Jade Cargill from the other company coming over. Everyone was excited at the beginning, but again, she was a little green, a little vanilla, so they needed someone to carry her. So Bianca Belair's put her under her wing and kind of, in a way, held her throughout the year of 2024. So I was thinking, is it a flop or not? I guess both of them, because do you think Jade, do you think Bianca would be doing more this year? Do you think they've been stalling this too long? Do you think they could do better, or do you think this is just perfect the way they set everything out? Bless you, Matt.
It's tough because I think that again, what we do as fans is that we expect like an instant gratification, and like a payout sooner rather than later. I think that Jade is where she needs to be because I had even said like watching her in AEW, I watched all of her matches and she was larger than life in AEW, but it was mostly her character. When I watched her in ring, like there wasn't anything super spectacular that she did. She was kind of booked like Goldberg in a sense, where her matches didn't really go for very long, and if they did, you can kind of see that there were still a lot of things that she needed to learn. So I knew that when she came to WWE, there was still going to be a huge learning curve, and I think she's been doing great. Kind of like getting more comfortable in the ring. Kind of like picking her spots. Like there have been some mistakes here and there, but like otherwise, like I think she's been doing great and just being able to develop herself. Um, I think that her being paired with Bianca just shows how much they trust Bianca. Because they were able to pair her with someone that they know has done it all, is very comfortable in the ring, knows how to move, knows how to get the crowd to react, and Jade's able to learn off of that so that when she does eventually go off on her own, she'll be able to kind of use what she's learned. Admittedly, I thought Bianca would be doing more. Like I think around this time last year, I had predicted that like around this time they would be setting up for Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, which I think is a match that is still huge money. But at this point, I don't think we're going to be seeing it until like at least until next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
I
actually
like
cool. So like
yeah, like
a face Rhea and a heel Bianca. Oh my god,
yeah, like
money, money,
that's the match
money.
I've been waiting for. Like ever since those two were called up for to the main roster, I was like, this is the match I know because they've done it in NXT before. It was a banger, and like I know that it'll be a huge banger now because they're essentially the Rock and Austin of the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy now because like you have these two women who are like pretty much the faces of the division, but like you still have like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and like the previous faces of the division who are still doing their thing, right? But to answer your question whether I think it's a flop or not, I would say that it's not. I think that Jade has done well this year in being able to develop herself. And I do have hopes for Bianca to do more single stuff and to really like diversify herself, hopefully as a heel in the future. But I think that this the tag team title run I think has been great for them. I think just like what Compare said, it's hard to be able to book who can beat them because they're pretty much like viewed as being like unbeatable. So how do you get people who would make sense to dethrone them? It's kind of like having the Rock, like the Brothers of Destruction as a tag team champion. It's like no one feels like they would be good enough to beat those guys, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to have characters who are just as good to be able to beat them in a match and be like, yeah, you know what, this makes sense. And like what you saw when they lost the titles the first time, they didn't get pinned, right? They weren't involved in the decision, right? So and it's to no faults of their own, and it's to no fault of the women's division. It's just like these women are just huge, right? Like they are looked at as being dominant and being like people who just can't be beat, right? So booking that is difficult for sure. But I think that they've had a good run this year for sure.
Okay.
If they want to book it, which of course I do this all the time, I'm professional. Hire me. So you get Damage Control. You bring Oscar back. She's in there as a manager. She's like, "Oh, I'm a Kabuki warrior." Whoop. And then you have Jade being like, "Bianca, you shot me in the head. so you have to break the team down within, all right? Since nobody's gonna beat them. I don't know what happened in the Brothers of Destruction, but the only people that can beat them is themselves. And then you have
Basically.
Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Everyone loves them. Let them win the title. And also, I mean, like if anyone's gonna take it off of them right now, maybe them or like Chelsea Green and Thing, Piper Niven maybe. I don't know. But yeah, once Io Sky loses to Liv, book it Triple H, and then call me. Looking for some extra employment, please.
Mm-hmm.
Fueled by Twisted Tea,
Oh my, fueled by Twisted Tea.
of course. Eric, you said that it was a flop, or
I'd say like an in between. I mean,
oh my
like,
god. So it's an or.
it's an or, I guess. I'd say probably flop for Bianca and a not for Jade. Jade, she's easing herself into the company. Now she can fly on her own after this whole injury angle. So I think she came out better. Bianca, I feel like it's almost like how we described Cody Rhodes. He had that in between time between main championships or main storylines where he had those filler matches, and I feel like that's what she's been doing with Jade. It's helped. She's still strong, but I feel like she's been more important before, and I think stalling time is over. So hopefully she comes back soon for next year, 2025, strong.
Sure. And this is a great new segment. Thank you guys for bringing your questions.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to next week's flop or not. And hopefully I don't have an allergic reaction then because I'm still sneezing. Oh my god.
Sounds like you want to bring the fire. What I'm hearing.
Oh buddy, I wish.
Oh my
I
god.
wish I could take an allergy pill, but I'm 3 Twisted Teas down and
Oh, I know. You're not supposed to mix. No, that's what I'm
I don't
saying.
think I
You
can
get
mix it.
distracted by raining the fire. Raining the
Oh,
fire.
I can't wait, bro. And if people want to watch that, sorry.
we're having an allergic reaction. You already saw us today. You can see us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well-
You'll just be seeing me sneeze, so
You guys good then?
Yeah, I think so.
All there. All right. Till next week, guys. We'll be setting up our our fantasy draft. How we're gonna set up the teams.
Look forward to
Again,
that.
give
Predictions.
us any other options. We'll still be here for our regular segments and review of the wrestling week because again, next week's like a pay-per-view week, so we'll do predictions as Matt said. Till then, it's been your boy Eric of EMFC.
I'm Matt from USC. I'm a champion, and I am allergic to being a champion.
And this is Eric at the EMFC.
See you guys next week.
Chingonga bomb.